Thanks, Nicole. Hello, everybody. My name's Liam from the carbon literacy team at Manchester Metropolitan University. We are a carbon literacy training organisation. We're also a carbon literate bronze organisation. We deliver training to all staff and students within the university. I think one of the main contributions we've made as an organisation to carbon literacy generally is the Universities and Colleges Toolkit, which we've made available as sort of an open source material to anyone in the higher education sector. We also have an award-winning Train the Trainer program, which I'll speak a little bit about in a few minutes' time. But yeah, just a bit of a sort of, in a nutshell, that kind of what's going on with carbon literacy at Manchester Met. This is the carbon literacy team at Manchester Met. It's only 4 people. And to be honest, when you factor in how many people in that team actually work full-time in carbon literacy, it's more like 2.5. However, we have managed to achieve quite a lot with that amount of people. So we've been involved with the carbon literacy project almost since the start, I believe. And like I say, we've been delivering training internally and externally since then. We have certified up to now more than 3,500 staff and students within the university. And actually, more than half of those have just been since September 2022. That is because, so we've been delivering training for like 12 years or 13 years, but in the last 2.5 years, we've certified more people than in the 10 years prior to that. And that's been possible because carbon literacy training is now an integral part of the university's sustainability strategy. So in September 2022, we started to roll out carbon literacy training across the entire university, making it a standard part of all degree programs at the university. And by academic year 2026-2027, we aim to have carbon literacy embedded in all programs within the university. What that means is, if anybody who comes to study at Manchester Met, regardless of what course they take, they will take carbon literacy training as a standard. Oops. Cool. So how is it possible for a core team of just 4 people to sort of achieve this? Well, it's really through collaboration with staff and students at the university. So we have a Train the Trainer program that's been running for many years. Many people who now work for the Carbon Literacy Project are former Manchester Met student trainers. The role of student trainers within the university has kind of changed over the years, which I'll discuss in the next slide. Another really important aspect is the more than 180 academics that we've recruited and trained to be carbon literacy champions. It's these people's jobs to find ways to fit the training into their courses, and then to deliver the training to their students. And that's kind of the way our decentralized model is currently working. And it now means that currently carbon literacy training is delivered in every single department at Manchester Met. And it is the collaboration with staff and students that's enabled us to do this. I mean, last year we trained more than 2,600 students. And yeah, so what this kind of leaves us with is 3 kind of distinct groups from which we get really, really crucial support that require different forms of organisation. We've got our student trainers, we've got our carbon literacy champions, who are our academics, and then we've got our learners. In this presentation, I'm just going to talk about these 2 because kind of the learner engagement is kind of its own kettle of fish. So I'll start with our student trainers. Historically, the student trainer program has been central to carbon literacy at Manchester Met. It's what we won a Green Gown Award for in 2019. And in the 10 years or so before we began this university-wide rollout, if you attended carbon literacy training at Manchester Met, chances are it was delivered by student trainers. However, currently, with what we're doing in terms of the university-wide rollout, it just wouldn't be possible for student trainers to kind of drive that. It's impossible for student trainers to embed it onto courses, and it's impossible for them to train thousands of students, thousands of learners every year. So since we began this rollout, it's really academics and lecturers who've taken the central role, and the student trainer program has kind of been pushed to the periphery a little bit. But in my opinion, student trainers are absolutely key to delivering successful carbon literacy in a university context. I think student trainers can relate to and engage with their fellow learners in a way that people in the carbon literacy team and academics just can't. And I think, as Peter mentioned, we all know the value of peer learning in carbon literacy. So I think our student trainers are a real testament to the value of that. They bring a kind of enthusiasm and an energy to the programme at Manchester Met, and to be honest, gives you hope for the future. Honestly, I cannot speak highly enough of our student trainers. And to be honest, from a personal perspective, I kind of get a kick out of seeing young people really broaden their horizons and start to develop that really crucial confidence and professionalism whilst they're in these formative years at uni. And I'm quite proud that our student trainer program can be a catalyst for that. So although they might not be positioned to drive this embedment of carbon literacy training within all the departments at Manchester Met, we do still want our carbon literacy trainers, our student trainers, to be involved. And to be honest, a lot of our carbon literacy champions, which again are our academics, need support when they're delivering training. So each year we train 2 cohorts of student trainers. When they complete the train the trainer course, they can then be employed within the university to deliver carbon literacy training or to support the delivery of other people's carbon literacy training. And we encourage our champions to hire student trainers to support that delivery. Cool. This is not without its challenges, and I think that maintaining student trainer momentum and engagement is something that we really have to think about. Particularly when we're also supporting like almost 200 academics to deliver the training at the same time. So there's some challenges we have are around maintaining this engagement of our student trainers. So students might complete the trainer course, but then never work as trainers. Champions might advertise jobs for student trainers, but nobody applies. Student trainers often start off, they finish the trainer course really enthusiastic, but kind of lose interest and drift away. Now, I can totally understand why that might happen. There's loads of valid reasons why student trainers might not remain engaged. I mean, uni is a time of discovery, isn't it? And the irregularity of the availability of the work of a student trainer in the university just doesn't meet the requirements of a lot of students in terms of employment. The majority of students who graduate from the trainer program, they do so feeling really inspired and enthusiastic. But if you put yourself in their shoes, if you finish a training course like that, and then the only time you ever hear again from the carbon literacy team is just when the odd job comes up, it's kind of understandable why you might not like remain engaged. We do pay them, but there's other payment opportunities. The question for us is what incentive do we give to students to be involved in this initiative? So some of the solutions that we've come up really revolve around making students feel part of something special. And we try and do that through community events that we put on, like lunches. We put on special training events for the students. We promote internal opportunities, and we sell it as like, hey, you're hearing about this because you're part of this community. We offer non-training opportunities to get employed, like that might be representing carbon literacy at conferences and other events. Generally, we try and act as mentors to the student trainers, really helping them develop professionally and get ready for that world of work that they're about to step into. And we make it explicit that that is the role that we are sort of fulfilling towards them. Anything really that we can do to build this sense of community and make student trainers feel part of something impactful that brings them opportunities that they wouldn't get elsewhere. Now, we don't have it all worked out, and some of these attempts to build this community amongst our student trainers have varied levels of success, but helping students feel part of something impactful and beneficial to them is what we're trying to do here. Moving on to our carbon literacy champions. Oh no, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Some testimonials from some of our former student trainers. Those of you from the Carbon Literacy Project might recognise Anna. I think what these testimonials really just underscore are the benefits that can accrue to students if they do remain engaged with the CL program at Monmet. I mean, Anna says it's the best thing that she did during her time at university, and it really opened up a world of opportunity for her. So the question is, how do we convince students to stay engaged long enough to enjoy these benefits? Moving on to our carbon literacy champions. So, champions are academics that we train to deliver the training. They maintaining engagement amongst them does require a bit of a different approach. All our champions are committed, very professional educators, but some come to us of their own volition, and some come to us because they've been told to. So volunteers and voluntold. So initially, some champions might require a little bit more convincing that carbon literacy training is a really great thing to be part of. Heavy workloads are a really big issue at, I imagine, any university. So the workloads are already overwhelming. So adding carbon literacy delivery onto that can be a challenge, even if you are super enthusiastic. Confidence is also an issue. So academics are very used to being the authority in the room when they're teaching. So leading a training that's about something completely outside of their discipline can be quite a jump for them, and some have some are more confident or comfortable with it than others. Morale can also be a bit of an issue. So champions can become demoralized by learner performance when it comes to certification. At the moment, on average, about 50% or just over 50% of students who apply for certificates actually get one. And that can make champions feel like they're underperforming and not having the positive impact that they kind of want. I think that's more of an issue around learner engagement, but as I said, that's kind of outside the scope of what I'm talking about today. How do we support champions? We aim to really provide a comprehensive program of support. All champions attend what we call Teach Carbon Literacy training, which is the regular carbon literacy training alongside loads of advice and discussion about sort of practical considerations of how to deliver the training. We use a caseworker approach. So every department has one member of the carbon literacy team whose job it is to ensure that that department have everything they need to deliver the training. As a caseworker, I often just find myself giving pep talks to champions and kind of reassuring them either they don't need to be experts or just making them appreciate their impact, even if the certification might seem low. We are trying to build a sort of cross-departmental community of practice amongst champions. It's a place where we can go for advice, where loads of other opportunities for collaboration arise. We use that, it's mainly through Microsoft Teams, and it works kind of almost as a bit of a virtual town square for sustainability purposes. We also hold periodic lunches on campus where people can drop in and troubleshoot any issues that arise, and we hold an annual conference, which is an opportunity to learn from people's diverse experiences across the university, but also to celebrate the champions because they really are integral to driving the sustainability agenda at the university. We really want our champions to feel confident, comfortable, and empowered to drive this initiative because without them, it would not happen. And we must be doing something, right? Because as I kind of said a few slides ago, we did manage to train well over 2,500 students last year. So these are just a couple of quotes from some of our champions to show what is possible when you do kind of make people feel part of something impactful. We want people to feel rewarded, and when we get feedback like this, it really is nice to see that we are kind of on the right track. Cool. I am coming to the end of my presentation, and if you're wondering at this point, when's this guy going to start talking about resources? I have been doing because my experience at Manchester Met really has taught me that our greatest training resource is the people around us and the passion that drives those people. You can have the best materials, you could have your administrative processes down to a T, you can have a really well developed training model in place, you can have your goals enshrined in the organization's strategy. But at the end of the day, it is the passion and enthusiasm of people that animates those things and makes them possible. So, figuring out how to inspire, how to harness, and how to maintain that passion and motivation has to be a key consideration for climate educators, especially when you are implementing the kind of ambitious program that we are, the kind of ambitious program that we really need. I like to think of it as how do we light that fire and how do we keep it lit? Um, just to finish, I am going to leave you with this probably overused Margaret Mead quote, but look, it's overused for a reason, and I kind of thought it went with the general vibe of what I've been talking about. I don't think anything that I've said is particularly groundbreaking. This is an ongoing challenge for us. We certainly don't have it all figured out, but hopefully, in sharing some of the challenges that we've perceived and how we've responded, we can open a dialogue. And if anyone's had similar experiences, has handled them differently, has any tips, advice, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I think I've got a couple of minutes for questions. So thank you.